Welcome to the Great British Foreign Affairs Podcast, hosting insightful conversations with fascinating people to shape the way that Britain interacts with the world. So welcome to this bonus suitcase episode. As you know, this podcast covers travel and adventure alongside the more perhaps serious conversations around international affairs and understanding different countries. And we're going to have a number of episodes this term that are bonus suitcase episodes. So an opportunity arose which was too hard to say no to. It's an incredible opportunity to travel around the world with my 3 kids at amazing ages for travel, so 3, 6 and 9, in between jobs for me and with some resource which could be put into it so that we can spend from August to December traveling and getting to know a whole set of countries. Many of them are on my bucket list of travel and are strung together to create a trip of a lifetime, which I'm going to take you on as well by doing notes from the trip. The kids are out of the UK school system for a term, and we are tapping into the world schooling concept, which is a growing concept where children learn through and during travel. So we're going to be doing that for this term. And I'm going to bring you on this trip too by capturing notes from the road. This one is from Europe, and there will be more from further afield soon. So we started in Paris, and Paris, as my listeners may know, is a very much loved place for me. Actually, there's an episode from series 1 which covers the area that we were staying in this time. So we always go back to the 10th, the 10th arrondissement, the 10th area of Paris. In that bonus suitcase episode from series 1, I capture tips and tricks about how to travel to Paris as a local, Eurostar, Metro, some recommendations of restaurants and areas, and why I love this area so much. We were staying with friends, and it was a very fitting start to our journey, partly because one of the great adventures we've done as a family before was in 2018. We moved to Paris for a term during our shared parental leave with my second son, and we were told before we went, oh, it might be hard to connect with people, it might be hard to make friends, Parisians are busy, you're just there for a little bit. And yet we ended up making lifelong friends from that trip. Through my daughter, who went to school for her first term of school, age 3, she made a best friend, and we got to know that family as well as other people. And we have remained in contact. We always go to visit them. And so I sat by the canal in the late summer, amazing vibe in that area. And I thought, this is so fitting. This reminds me that with travel, with adventure, you take risks. You inevitably end up in a busy period of packing, booking. You know, that can be stressful as well. But you put yourself out of your comfort zone and you reach out of your normal routine and reality, and there can be so many benefits. Yeah, incredible things that come from doing that. And so I was reminded of that as I sat in Paris, and I took a moment to take a breath. I felt like I'd been a 24/7 travel agent pretty much just before that. And I was able to take a breath and just remind myself of the endless opportunities and possibilities that are going to come from this trip. And you'll hear about some of them as they are unfolding. Paris, we were there at the time of the Paralympics. And for anyone that experienced London Olympics in 2012, it was very much like that. Paris, on top form, proud of itself, inviting the world in. And we went to the Stade de France, where the athletics were. We saw Paralympic track events. running, long jump, javelin. It was an amazing atmosphere, in particular when the French athletes were up in their events, and that was a great thing to be part of and something that I loved my kids to experience too. And so from Paris, which still felt known and familiar, on to our great adventure. And the first stop was northern Spain. We took the train to northern Spain in April as a family. We went overland from London to Morocco. So we're quite familiar with getting trains through France and Spain. I'm very conscious of the climate impact of our trip, and part of that I've decided to do because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But where possible, we are getting trains or boats, and this was particularly one route that we could do that. So we got the train from Paris to Hendaye, which is the border between France and Spain, not far from San Sebastian. For anyone thinking of doing this, I really recommend it. It's so easy. You actually don't know it's easy until you've done it. Therefore, I'm passing on the information. You book through WeGo, the cheaper French train travel site, OUIGO. You get to the border, and at the border there's a very small little train that takes you from Hendaye to San Sebastian. It's incredibly easy to get. You just walk across the road, you go to a very obvious ticket machine, anybody can help you if you need it, and you get on this little train and you go to San Sebastian. And San Sebastian, I think I've raved about before in this podcast. I think it's an amazing place. We went to the beach, but our ultimate destination was La Rioja, and my daughter and I had a conversation about our time in Spain. Here it is. We're here together, Lucia, aren't we? My 9-year-old daughter. And we are in Pradijon, which is in La Rioja region of Spain, so northern Spain. And we just had the amazing experience of staying with a family who've been hosting us, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been their village fiesta, hasn't it? Week-long annual fiesta. Which is very special because usually if we came here normal, like last week, for example, it would be like different, but because this week it was all the fiestas, then it would be about the bulls. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's like there was bull running, and it's like when some people and the police are watching just to see if the people that are running are good, and it's like bull running. So the bull tries to run up across it, but just try and chase it. But just to clarify that it's not actually they don't die. It's just. Yeah, so this doesn't get hurt. This village is not that far from Pamplona, about an hour from Pamplona, and of course everyone knows about bullfighting in Pamplona. But all around here there's the tradition of bull running, which is where essentially people kind of call the bull and the bull runs and they get out of the way. So every day there's been a schedule, hasn't there? There's been different activities. What have we done? We've done in the mornings, there's been little activities, whether at the beginning that was a parade, and then there was competitions for food. Costumes. Yeah. And then everyone has lunch around what time? Around 2. Around 2. Yeah. And then everyone has a siesta or relaxes, and then comes out for an entire evening. From 6 o'clock. Well, I mean, sometimes, of activities. The bull running, and at 7 it's the kids' balls, which is where we are filming us. Yeah, the kids' balls where we are right now is where. And so children push the bulls and then they chase people. Bull heads, a bit like wheelbarrow. That's a bull, and kids run around with them, don't they? And that's really fun. Yeah. And then, like you said, sometimes there's been handball, there's a fun fair, and then there's lots of music. I like music. Sometimes it's really fun and party-ish. Sometimes it's opera, and I like the party one, and it's really nice. There's been a big stage, hasn't there, in the village? Quite surprised very big, how big it is for a small village of 6,000 people. Big stage, bands that singing and dancing, and just really amazing music and vibe in the central plaza. Yeah. Central Village Square.
And then there's, after that, there's a fireball.
Our favourite.
Well,
10 o'clock at night.
One time it was a bit scary at first, but then it's quite fun because you just run away.
Yeah, so let's explain what it was. A person holds a kind of contraption that's a ball, which has fireworks, and each of the fireworks are set off one by one, and the ball runs around spraying out little flames.
Yeah, but the flames don't really hurt you.
Yeah. And everybody runs away. And right at the end, the horns catch light, don't they? And they do like sparklers, like really big sparklers. And then there's a big Catherine.
One day there was something like, because it was raining, but then there was a two double, and it was already fun.
Yeah, so that was last night. And so we thought we'd finished and we'd just done our final Toro de Fuego. And then suddenly there was another one that came out and everyone screamed again and started running. So that's been really amazing, hasn't it? And what else have we learned while we've been here? We've adapted to the time, the schedule of the day, which is really different.
I go to bed at 8 and I wake up at 7, but now I wake up at like 10:30.
And went to bed at midnight. Yeah.
Or 11.
And we've eaten incredible food, haven't we?
Yes, the whole has been amazing.
The food we've had: melon, watermelon every day.
Paella, which was like a special version. That's really nice because usually paella is not my favourite, but it was really nice.
And I learned to do proper tortilla. We've had,
which is also potato omelette.
Yeah, that's been delicious. So we've had all sorts of really nice food. We've had fun spending time with the family, haven't we? Their grandparents and are next door.
Yep.
And lots of family sort of popping in and out.
Yeah, and we saw some of the family friends all along.
Yeah, and then we've also gone to their farms, haven't we? So the dad is
like 2 biology lessons.
So the dad's a mushroom farmer.
So it's like fungi, and then the temperature, the dad like turns it down, like really down, and then the mushrooms are going to die, so they're going to reproduce, and they reproduce 3 times, and then they actually make mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. We saw them, they hadn't yet grown, had they? But then we saw the photo of them having grown, and because this is the biggest place in Spain where they produce mushrooms, when you buy mushrooms in Britain, you could be buying them from here, from Jose Farm.
Yesterday we went to a bigger farm, which was the grandpa's farm, and it was so big, and there were almonds,
walnuts,
apples, figs,
melons,
watermelons,
a lot of charred peppers, green beans.
There's also this nice cat.
And the grandpa made boats from cane leaves, and
we see 2
went on there was a competition to see which boat would win. There are vineyards, of course, around here, and so we saw the sun setting over the vineyards. We learned that La Rioja region is selling a lot of white wine as well as red wine now. It's just been an incredible experience, hasn't it? Just day by day, waking up and knowing we're part of this amazing fiesta. The way that we set that up was through Workaway, and here I have a conversation with Lucia's friend about what Workaway is. Lucia and I have just been explaining what an amazing time we've been having, and we did all of this through Workaway, which is a platform that your mum uses, doesn't she, to invite people, connect people that want to travel, people that are happy to host, because they benefit from it in some way. Sometimes that means someone would help with construction, or probably your more like traditional volunteering, like someone in their early 20s going and helping on a farm or going to help build a house. But do you use Workaway, your family?
Well, my mum uses it so she can find girls, English girls, so they can look after me.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had lots of people that have come to visit that have spoken English to you, which is why you speak such amazing English, isn't it? because she's bringing you up bilingually. And for us, she invited us through Workaway so that we could hang out and you could hang out with my kids, right? And they could speak English with you. And Workaway is completely free. You just sign up to either host or to travel with Workaway. You have to send quite a lot of messages to people and and you can see whether people are available or not, whether they host families or not, and they want. You would be working and they would be hosting you. But when you see something that you think fits, you send a message and then you go from there. You send messages. Here we are. Just had an amazing week. And thank you for hosting us at your village's fiestas, which my kids have absolutely loved.
So that's Workaway. Workaway was a completely new discovery for me for this trip. And that was an amazing first experience of it. You have to put the time and effort into it, send lots of different messages. You get replies from some people and not from others. But it is a new way of traveling for me. And what I absolutely love about it is the fact that you meet and connect with people. And there's also opportunities to host. And I know that quite a few people in the UK also host workawayers. And so that's something to look into as well. If you are happy to host people from across the world and want help with things in your house. So from Spain, we went on to a Greek island called Skiathos, which is famous as being the island where the film Mamma Mia was recorded. I have for a long time wanted to go to the Greek islands. I know lots of British people are familiar with them. Of course, there are many. But I had only been to mainland Greece. And so an opportunity came up to join a family in Skiathos that are starting a world schooling hub. And so we jumped in as their first guests, and we're extremely grateful to Sarah and Cami at Green Shadows Blue Horizons for hosting us. We flew into Athens and we then got a bus and a ferry to get to the island. The ferry bit was very easy using Ferry Hopper app. The bus was not as straightforward, but with various people's help, I felt a little bit like I was on Race Across the World, the BBC programme that some of you may also watch, trying to find the right bus at the right time, not miss the stops in order to get there, and coming back. They were very kind when we didn't have a ticket because I hadn't been able to get one, and they squeezed us on and it helped us get to a bus that did have space. So what was really nice about getting the ferry was you got a sense of where the island was compared to the mainland. I think my main takeaway from Skiathos was just the awe-inspiring beauty of that place. We were in the mountains, and so we were actually camping. So I would come out of the tent and just breathe in this mountain light and air. We could see the forest and we could see the sea. It was like a 180 kind of panoramic view from the top of the mountain. And I mean, starting your day like that is amazing. It's just amazing. And there were other highlights: sunsets, beaches. Even that small island of Skiathos has 66 beaches. We went to wild beaches. We went to famous beaches. We went to popular beaches, beach bars with DJs and incredible atmospheres, and then wild beaches. Skiathos is famous, I think, when the people of Skiathos were fighting Turkish pirates. They built this city on a rock, Castro, and all of the island lived there. And down near there, the beaches are just superb. The water is absolutely transparent and you can see everything through it. We learnt the history of the people of Skiathos once piracy was no longer a danger. They then moved and they set up the town of Skiathos, and they brought all the furniture and the furnishings from their little tiny houses in Castro to the main houses they were building in Skiathos. There's an incredible museum you can go to, a little house where they talk you through this history, which felt really special. We heard from the granddaughter explaining her family history of the people of Skiathos. I guess character and courage, and what they had then gifted, not just to the island, but also to Greece, because the flag of Greece was apparently designed in Skiathos and comes from that time. And we also had an amazing Greek night. We learned Greek dancing. My observation is that Greek dancing, Greek rhythm is quite different to the other types of dancing that I've done in the past, and quite difficult to get the hang of, but so much fun. And I had not understood before that when you dance in a circle, part of that is that you feel the energy and the warmth and the love of the group. And so that was really special to learn that and to experience that on a warm late summer's evening in Greece, with a deep blue, dark sky, stars, and Greek musicians just playing music faster and faster, and just whirling around in this circle of Greek dancing, trying to keep up with the steps. And one other highlight was sitting in this old stone cottage with a little lamp lighting up, eating baklava, and listening to a Greek friend of our host telling stories about foraging, about the land, about medicine and plants, and actually caves and treasures that have been found on the island. But particularly just really appreciating the connection between the people and the land. And that was a big takeaway from Greece, how beautifully connected people living on the island can be with the land that hosts them. And I came away with a deeper appreciation, I think, of foraging, spending time in nature, and also using herbs and plants for cooking, and an amazing. And so there ends the notes from Europe. My summary of our time, I think, is already incredible connections from this trip. We've been in contact, having left all three of those places, been in contact since with the people that we connected with, taking the memories and the lessons from them, but particularly taking the human connection and the kindness and the love that we've received. And we take that on as we come to my next note.
Thank you for listening to the Great British Foreign Affairs podcast, where Britain meets the world. Subscribe today, share it with a friend or colleague, and be part of shaping Britain's role on the global stage.